Hello everyone and welcome to my video academy Cristina Muntean TV. Recently I conducted a virtual workshop where at the beginning we had a round of introductions. All participants touched base, introduced themselves, and they were generally positive. One of the participants, however, had her camera turned off, and when her turn came as the last, she turned her camera on and she started to tell us how much she had on her plate, how frustrated she felt overall with everything that was going on, how much she looked forward for things to end, including our workshop, and so. As I was listening to her, I was observing the other participants, I could see the energy in the group going down. Even though just a few moments ago they were describing how excited they had been for this workshop, all of a sudden, after this sharing, the energy in the group was going down. So I wondered what to do. And I decided to intervene and to invite her to consider. I told her that should she like to stay, that she's more than welcome. However, I would invite her to a higher degree of presence because we would be working in depth throughout the workshop and we need that to make sure that we really get the best from our time spent together. And if she cannot do that, that she's absolutely welcome to shift her focus on something else, that there is no loss whatsoever. We would be recording the workshop, she would have access to it. But if she feels drawn into focusing on different priority, that she's more than welcome to do that. That had a bit of a shaking that impact on her. And I thought this was an interesting moment because then we moved forward and she was engaged and she contributed in the chat and so on. So what was going on? What we were assisting is a simple process called venting. A person comes with a high degree of emotional intensity and uses the people in front. It can be members of the family, members of the team, or in our case, simply, co-participants in a workshop, to basically dump their emotions and, their inner processes on other people. This happens very often, same like bottling emotions when we are emotionally immature. Not really emotionally self-aware. Now, the problem with venting is twofold. First of all, when we vent our emotions and we talked about the thing that upset us in the past, we keep ourselves in the same emotional footprint that we were in the moment when we had been triggered in the past. So, for example, when we talk about with our husband about how our boss upset us at work, physically, somatically, we experience the same symptoms as if we were at work, and that is unhealthy for yourself and for your body. Second, and this is more dangerous, we're basically using the people around us in our near circles as a dumping ground, simply to kind of gain a sense of quick emotional release without realizing the deep emotional impact that our words and actions have on the people around us. And this is why my invitation for you who are watching this video is, when you're dealing with someone who is venting, try to gently tell them no. You are not a dumping ground. Of course, the people who need to vent, there are situations in which venting is a bit more acceptable, but then there are situations in which venting becomes a habit. And you need to be able to recognize, because what happens is that emotions are contagious. And if your spouse is used to simply come home and take everything that happened at work and dump it on you and on the children, you will be living in this emotionally contagious environment, which does nothing good, neither to the person venting nor to you. Same with friends, same with members of your family. We need to learn to master our emotions more consciously, not to bottle them, not to vent them by using others, but simply to address them consciously in time and with the people who triggered us, not with tertiary bystanders whom we use as a channel for our emotional relief. So, my friends, I invite you learn to say no with kindness, gently but clearly and firmly, because you are not a emotional dumping ground. Crisis or no crisis, pandemic or no pandemic, we really need to grow up as adults and to learn to master our emotions in our families, in our teams, and in our organizations. And unless someone gives us a mirror to the consequences of what we're doing, we will never learn. So do not hesitate to give people healthy boundaries, because that ultimately would be better for yourself, for them, and for your whole ecosystem.